Hello church, Bob Myers sharing with you from Psalm 52, and I'm outside today, and if you're out and about, watch yourself. Don't get too hot. Be sure to drink plenty of fluids and get back inside as soon as you can where it's cooler. This Psalm 52, is a Psalm of David, and it's his reflecting upon an occasion in his life when he's fleeing from Saul. And the occasion that he's reflecting on in this psalm is revealed to us in 1 Samuel chapters 21 and 22. And David was fleeing, and he came to Nob. He went to the tabernacle, and he went to Ahimelech, the priest there, and he said, hey, can you help me out? I don't have a sword, don't have anything. And he said, well, Goliath's sword's here from when you took it from him. And they gave it to him, gave him and some showbread from off the altar, and then sent David on his way. Well, Doeg the Edomite was around there, and he saw all this happen. And he knew that King Saul was after David, and so he made himself available to Saul. He was over King Saul's herdsmen, the shepherds, and he said, well, let me tell you, I know something about this guy you're looking for. He was over at Nob, talking to Ahimelech, and Ahimelech took care of him. And Saul demanded that Ahimelech come forth and all the priests, and demanded of them, and you know, what are you doing helping this one that I'm after? And Ahimelech said, who's more honorable than David, your son-in-law? He's the one, he's not in violation of you. He's not doing an uprising. He's not in rebellion against you, king. Get off your bad self. And King Saul said, well, charge the footmen, just kill him, all the priests. They wouldn't do it. So Doeg fell on Ahimelech the priest, killed him, killed 85 total priests that day. Then he went down to Nob and killed women, children, animals, just had a great slaughter. And David's reflecting on that. And he's reflecting on the transitory nature of Doeg's power. He said, thy tongue, in verse 2, deviseth mischiefs. 3, thou lovest evil more than good, lying more than speaking righteousness. 4, thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. You know, Doeg's tongue got him in a lot of trouble because he talked himself into a position where he thought he was more than he was, and he backed it up with a lot of power, but it was all transitory. It was all temporary. Because in verse 5, David says, God shall likewise destroy thee forever. And remember that God had promised David that his kingdom would be established forever. And so David says that God's going to destroy Doeg forever. He shall take thee away. The righteous shall also see and shall laugh at him. You're going to laugh at a guy that was so absurd that he thought he could advantage himself politically to a position where he could go against God's anointed and win. This is the man, verse 7, that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness. Boy, is that a word for us today. We are beset by a lot of people round about us that oppose the way of righteousness, who trust in the abundance of their riches and strengthen themselves in their wickedness. And they have not made God their strength. That's a verse for us today, is it not? And then verse 8 is also a verse for us today. David saying, but I'm like a green olive tree in the house of God. That is a picture of health, strength, and longevity. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. I will praise thee forever, for thou hast done it. David says, Doeg did me wrong. He did the people of Nob wrong. He did Ahimelech the priest wrong. But it was temporary. It's transitory. Following God is forever. Be blessed today as you study and ponder on Psalm 52.